This is the end. Oh yeah? Well, you're going down with me. You thinking what I'm thinking? Of course. Why is there circus music playing? Just go with it. So, I see you got my text. Yeah. How come you wanted to meet me here exactly? Well, it's because the weird thing is, for some reason lately I've been thinking about you. I don't normally think about you. That's strange. For some reason I've been thinking about you also. I think I know why you decided to come. Why is that? I think you need to talk. Do you? Kinda, I guess. So why don't you talk to people more often? I don't know, I just kind of always feel like there's no one to talk to. I don't know, I mean, usually it's the kind of thing you usually will talk to your parents about, but our parents were never really around very much. How come? I don't know, they just never were. So there's a lot of pressure on me being the oldest. Wow, sounds like you had it hard. Yeah, I wouldn't call it easy. Yeah, I know what it's like to be the oldest. I'm the oldest in my family. It comes with a lot of pressure. You're telling me. So, why did you decide to become a bad guy anyway? Well, I mean, for all the pressure of being the oldest, I felt like I had to be the parent. And I was a lot younger. So, I had no clue what I was doing. I had to take care of two siblings. So, just kind of difficult. So that's why you became a bad guy? Because you just felt like there was so much pressure on you, you just didn't, you just couldn't take it anymore? Yeah, basically. Wow, I never knew how bad you actually had it. So, do you ever, question your life decisions? Ever? Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes I wonder if I've actually chosen the right path or not. How can you ever be sure if you actually chose the right path or not? I don't know. I think your heart just knows. You know, we don't have to be enemies. What do you mean? What I mean is, we can be friends. I never really thought of it that way. I have a question. Yeah? Would it be weird if I wanted to hug you? I don't think so. Do you remember why we first started fighting in the first place? Yeah, I kinda do. Want me to show you? Oh, sure. Hey, what's that over there? Where? I don't see. You know, I should have seen that coming. Yeah, now we can be friends. I just had, do that. You know, instead of working against each other, what if we work together? Yeah, I mean, we are stronger together. So, why did you move to New Orleans? I don't know. I just did, really. I mean, I moved with my family. I don't know why my family moved. That's strange. Maybe there's more to it. Maybe. So where did you move from exactly? I moved from Los Angeles. So, are you originally from here? Yeah, I've been living here my whole life. 'Cause, to some people, this place would seem kind of scary. But I don't see it, really. I mean, obviously, it has its bad history, but I mean, People change. Yeah, people do change. Sometimes you just gotta let go of grudges of the past and learn to forgive. Well, what I know is that when you look at the bad side of something, you forget that there's a good side. You know, nothing is ever what it seems, you know? Some things look scary, but in the end turned out to be something really beautiful. Which is also the same reason why I decided to give you a second chance to be a better person. You know why? Because like we were saying, people change. But you know, from the very first day that I moved here, I knew for a fact that I was never leaving. Because this is my new home. And this is where I belong. Yeah, I'd never want to leave either. I feel like we're supposed to break into song or something. We really don't have to. No, we really don't. Do you ever feel like we're more put to the sidelines? Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I see that. I feel like the attention is always on those two. It really is. When's the show got to be about us? Yeah. Hey, we should create our own TV show. Yeah. It should be around us. Yeah, we should totally do that. Yeah, we totally should. What would we even call it? I don't know. We'll make it up as we go. So, do you think they know that we're spying on them? No. Why exactly are they getting along? I have no clue. Me neither. This is strange. They never get along. Usually they want to punch each other, but right now they look like they're about to hug each other again. You don't think they became friends with each other, do you? They might have. Wait. I am so confused. Are we even going to have an arch nemesis anymore? Yeah. Are we even going to have an arch nemesis anymore? Oh wait, we're not affected. We can still be villains. Yeah, good point. Gotta have something better to do. You know, we should spy on people together. Yeah, believe me, I've learned stuff from spying. Like what? Well, there was one time where I actually figured out my sister was dating somebody, and I had no clue. Yeah, those were some fun times. Oh, right. Yeah, I'm spying too. Wait, why are you spying? Oh yeah, I'm spying on my brother. Wait, that's your brother? Yeah. Let me guess, that's your sister? Yep. So, I wonder what they're doing. Yeah. Wait, what are they doing? I don't... Oh boy, they're kissing each other. What? What is happening? Wait. I know this might sound crazy, but are our siblings dating each other? They could be. Wow. I did not see that coming. Neither did I. Well, believe me, in the moment, I didn't see it coming either. You know, we should be around more often. Seems like interesting things always happen with those two. Yeah. Never a dull day with those two. What's happened to me? I can't believe I'm saying this, but I don't know what my heart wants. Maybe I should start listening to my heart again. I mean, it's been years. It's just so frustrating because I don't know what side I'm on anymore. I barely know who I am as it is. I don't even know what to think about stuff anymore. Just... I don't know what's happened to me. Eventually, I'm going to have to tell her the truth. about who I really am. I don't know what it is about Tempest, but I feel like she can change a person. I just don't know how to feel in life anymore. I don't know what's wrong, what's right. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing anymore. Just nothing makes sense. I don't know why. I mean, it wasn't this hard before. And now it is for some reason. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. I fought on the wrong side. But when I look in the mirror, I asked, who am I? If I could turn back time, I'd change everything. If I could turn back time. I've always been alone in life. Then you showed me another side. I've always been alone in life. Then you showed me another side. I don't think it's normal to break into song like that. You know, I'm just not gonna question it. I told you there was nothing there. Yeah, probably nothing. Come on, let's go back. You okay? Yeah, I was just thinking. About what? Do you remember a while ago when we had that fight with Belle? Yeah, I remember. What about it? Well, after the fight, something strange happened. Like what? Remember that one time when we went out at night? Like, that day? When you walked away, I could have swore I saw somebody. I don't know who it was, but it was strange. Do you know what they even looked like? I'm not quite sure. It was pretty dark out. Do you think anything about it might come up someday and be pretty significant? It could. I say we have to watch our backs. Because anything crazy could happen. I mean, you've seen our life already. Who knows what else could happen? I just have a question. What's that? Where were you yesterday exactly? Okay. I was out. And I was hanging out with Electrona. How come? I don't know, it's just the weird thing was that for some reason we were thinking about each other, and we don't normally think about each other, which kind of makes it weird. But yeah, so we talked to each other about stuff. I think there's more to her than what we know. What makes you say that? Sounds like she's had a pretty hard childhood. So, I really don't think she's that bad, really. Do you think we should trust her? Yeah, I trusted you. And you're a completely different person than the person I first met. You know, you make a fair point. I say we do trust her. People can change. Yeah, they can.
I can see you're struggling with this. Let me make it easy for you. Join me, and you'll get revenge against Tempest.
I don't know if that's what I still want anymore.
Even with everything she's done to you?
I'm trying not to be that person anymore.
You fool! Evil is in your blood. Accept it.
But I don't have to let that define who I am.
Then you're not worth my time. One down, one to go.
Are you okay? You look kind of nervous. I don't know what it is, but I've got no time to explain. Yeah, but where are you? Ha! Going. Gotta be strong. He's not gonna get away with this.
Then you're not worth my time. One down, one to go.
Something's definitely up. But wait, could Maya and Electrona be the same person? That would be crazy if they were the same person. I mean, well, they do have a lot of similarities to each other. I guess it is possible. I just never thought about it. Hey, I've been wanting to talk to you. Why? What's going on? Was something going on with you earlier? What do you mean? Okay, let me put this in a different way. Where were you an hour ago? What are you doing? I wouldn't have your attention right now if I wasn't on top of you. So, where were you an hour ago? I was talking to somebody. Who is this somebody you speak of? So are we like doing a guessing game here where I guess who it was that you were talking to or something? Yeah, sure, go with that. Was it Gracie? No. Was it Aiden? No. Was it one of your parents? No. Was it a mysterious villain that I don't know about yet? Maybe. I didn't hear a no. Can you get off me? Not until you tell me what's going on here. Fine, I'll tell you if you get off me. Okay, fine, I'll get off you. But I was really enjoying it. Fine, I was talking to somebody. Who exactly is this person? This person, their name is Shockwave. And also, me and Shockwave are related. I'm his niece. So what exactly was going on? He wanted me to join him. And I didn't. And for some reason, he has it out for you. I don't know why. How come you didn't join him? It's because, being completely honest, you're the only person that's ever really been nice to me. Because almost my entire family are villains. So I just kind of got raised into that. And villains don't tend to be the nicest people. So when he offered to basically work with me, I just couldn't do it. And to be honest, I'm kind of scared. How come you're scared? Because he's a lot stronger than you think he is. Because the difference is that he knows how to fully control his powers. You are still newer at having powers. You don't know everything about your powers yet. You don't have them completely under control. And I don't completely have mine under control either. And I've had mine a lot longer. I think we're going to have to work together. Yeah, I think it's the only way. But I need to ask you something. What's that? Who are you actually? What do you mean? Okay, let me put this in a different way. What do you mean put it a different way? Wow! So, we're doing this again. Yep. Okay, let me ask you again. What's your real name? I can't tell you. What's your real name? I said I can't tell you. Wait, I think the better question is, what's your real name? We're not talking about what my real name is. We're talking about what your real name is. I have a feeling it's not that you can't tell me, that you just don't want to tell me. I think that goes the same for you. We're not talking about my real name right now. Also, you admit that Tempest isn't your real name. You're clearly just stalling. Come on, tell me, what is it? Fine, I'll tell you. Right after you tell me what your real name is. Well played. So, what's your real name? No, what's your real name? I asked you first. I asked you second, and 2 is bigger than 1. Fine, I'll tell you. You're telling me yours. Fine, I'll tell you. Well, what is it? My real name is Tempest. I believe you. Oh wait, no I don't. I'll tell you what my real name is when you tell me what your real name is. Fine, I'll tell you what my real name is. Well, you gonna tell me? My real name is Maya. Called it. What? I put all the puzzle pieces into place. How? You know how you're always sneaking off to go do weird stuff? How'd you even notice all that? Seriously? You act like I don't pay attention to you. It's hard not to pay attention to you, really. You're a pretty shady person. Well, you make a point there. But you're still pretty shady yourself. How am I shady? You're always being secretive, like, 1, not telling me what your name is. Well, you make a point there. Well, make another point. Well, there's hiding that you have a boyfriend, hiding your real name. You want me to continue? Those were 2 things. And I have good reasons. The better question is, how did you figure out I was dating your brother, huh? We're not talking about that right now. Oh, I think we're going to be talking about that in a minute. And for your information, my real name is not Tempest. Then what is it? My real name is Sadie. You happy? Well, I'm glad we got this settled. Yeah, now can you get off me? Nah, I don't wanna. I will electrocute you. Fine, you win that round. Only because I don't feel like getting electrocuted. Good instincts. You know, I really hate to admit this, but you know, me and you are actually pretty similar in a lot of ways. Yeah, I hate to admit it also, but I kinda agree with you. I don't like to agree with you. So, do tell me, how did you figure out I was dating your brother? Well, long story short, I was spying on you guys. You know? That seems so like you. So, anything else you want to tell me? Oh, yeah, there's one other thing. What's that? You remember that time you couldn't find your phone? I don't know, I was using it last night and now it's gone. Yeah, what about it? Yeah, I was bored, so I stole it. I wish I could say I was surprised, but I'm not. Well, it makes sense. Wait, when did you even steal it? Oh, while you were sleeping. And how'd you not wake me up? What, you looked so cute when you were sleeping, I didn't want to wake you up. Wait, how'd you even get into my house? Duh, the window. What window? I'll never tell. Why aren't they fighting each other? Oh no, it's like they're friends with each other or something. Well, now that they're friends, who's gonna be the villain? Wait, who says there has to be just one villain? I'm with you on this. How about we work together? Yeah, and I can even get Electrona's army on my side. Then we'll be even more powerful. You know, I never saw you as like a leader. I've always seen you more as a follower. Yeah, well, that's what made people believe. What do you mean? All my life, I've been somebody's shadow, no matter what. And I just kind of played along. You know why? Why? So I could learn their weaknesses to use it against them. Wait, is that why you've been working with Electrona all these years? That's exactly why I've been working with her for years. Also, Shockwave attacked her earlier. Wait, how'd you even know about that? I think I would know since I'm the one that put him up to it. I have one thing to say to you that I never thought I was going to say to you. Good job. She's had it too good for too long. Together, nobody can stop us. You know why? Because we have two very powerful powers. You're right. Well, of course I'm right. So, should we attack them? No, let's be patient. Let's let them think they only have one problem on their hands. So, who's in charge exactly? I think that's obvious. Me? You know what we need to do? We need to still pretend to be on Electrona's side. How come? So she doesn't get suspicious, of course. Because then our plan would be ruined. So what are we gonna do? They're more powerful when they're together. Exactly. Power is their weakness. You thinking what I'm thinking? Oh, you know it. You know, it seems like nothing really crazy is going on. Are you okay? Yeah, not the hardest I've been hit. What do you mean? What? Things went down earlier. What kind of things? You okay? Yeah, kinda spaced out. Yeah, I was just thinking about something. Okay, I need to tell you what actually happened. Shockwave, he attacked me. Are you okay? Yeah, I guess. So is that why you're so concerned about him? Yeah, because it was a light blow and he was still able to defeat me. I vaguely remember him saying something like, 1 down, 1 to go. I don't know what he was talking about. Should we do it again? Oh yeah. Are you okay? Yeah. What's up with our powers today? I don't know. Do we have other powers we don't know about or something? I don't know, it was like a purple lightning blast. That is weird. I think we need to figure out what's going on. Are you sure we should do this, Winter? I mean, you haven't figured it out all the way yet. How hard could it be? It's time travel. Of course it's going to be hard. I know that, Celia, but I got this. Okay, just be careful. I will. Just be careful. I will. What? Ow. Did not know I was going to land that hard. So this is 2021. Wow. It's different. Who is that? I'm gonna go talk to them. Hey. Oh, hey. Can I talk to you? Sure, what's up? Okay, so you're probably not going to believe this, but I'm a time traveler from 2040. Wait, what? Wait, who are you? Oh, my name is Winter. Oh, I know who you are. You do? Yeah, your name is Maya. How'd you know that? Duh. The future? Wait, how come you look a little bit familiar to me? Oh, I'm Tempest's daughter. You are? Wait, she has a kid in the future? Oh yeah, also me and you are related. I have a feeling I know how. Wait, so they end up getting married? Yeah, basically. Seems like you basically know it's already going to happen. Wait, does future Tempest know that you're here? Yeah, actually. It's her idea to have me come here to help. You know, this is insane. But not the weirdest thing that's ever happened. Wait, so how'd you even get here? You, have time travel powers or something? No, my necklace does, actually. No, I gotta go explain this to Tempest, really. So wait, you're from the future? Yes, I've told you this 12 times. And I have a kid in the future? Yes, I've told you this multiple times. Wait, how is this even possible? I already told you, my necklace has time travel powers. So we have the same powers? Yes. Well, come on, we need to go handle Shockwave. Okay, I'm just trying to get my mind around all this. This is so much easier to explain to Maya. So, anyway. Come on, let's go get Electrona and let's go fight Shockwave. Alright, let's do this. So, what's the plan?
I've got it. I'll take care of Tempest while you keep Electrona busy.
I'm not your lapdog whenever you need someone to go and be distracted.
Aren't you, though? Now be a good little doggy and go distract her.
Show you, lapdog. Your reign of terror ends today. Yeah, you're going down!
Today? Ha! My reign will be endless!
I don't think so.
Ugh! Is that the best you've got?
Now that we've seen fall, how about a little winter? Don't worry, girls. I got this.
I don't even know who you are.
It's not who I am. It's what I do. And what I do is kick your butt.
Please, you're just a little girl.
Wait till you see what this little girl can do.
Where did she?
Right here.
What?
Are you guys done taking your nap? Time to wake up, grannies.
Now's my chance while they're distracted. This ends now.
Sometimes the dog bites back.
What? No!
Well, I'm glad this is settled. Why would Gracie attack him? I'm gonna go back to the future. Well, my present. Okay, do you think we'll ever see you again? Yeah, in the future. You okay? Yeah, I'm fine. I was just thinking. So, you think we should be frenemies? Yeah, I'm down with it. I will. Bye. Bye. What if they all found out it's been secrets and lies? They would ask why. Why is it secrets and lies? I want to tell you why. It's been secrets and lies. Lies, lies, secrets and lies. I want to tell everyone everything about my past, but will the secret last? Had a good thing going since yesterday morning. You went and shouted it from the rooftops. I'll punch you if it makes this nightmare stop. I need to go handle some business.
Ugh. 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 Dang.
It's rolling, but you know. Don't worry, I got this. Sometimes I talk when I public. And and then you get a camera. Sometimes the dog barks back. I mean, sometimes the.
Ugh.
Hey, Dad, your hands in the shot.
What? No.